Hello and welcome to Crypto News. Today is February 11th, 2025, and the top crypto news is as follows. Starting with our first story, we go to North Carolina, which has become the 20th state in the US to pursue its own Bitcoin investment. A new bill allows the state to invest up to 10% of North Carolina's funds and revenue in a Bitcoin ETF, with the total capital exceeding $10 billion. Although the bill does not explicitly mention Bitcoin, the Ministry of Finance states that the investment will be made in funds that track digital financial assets with a minimum market capitalization of $750 million over the past 12 months. In other words, it's Bitcoin, without directly calling it Bitcoin. From North Carolina, we move on to Grayscale, which has announced its intention to launch a spot Cardano ETF in the US. Grayscale, as we've previously mentioned, follows a typical strategy involving various ETFs known as trusts. These trusts are later converted into spot ETFs, as was the case with Cardano before. Speaking of ETFs, we now turn to Litecoin. According to analysts, there is a 90% chance that the SEC will approve a Litecoin ETF in 2025. And it's not just any analyst. This prediction comes from James, a well-known ETF analyst on X. Beyond Litecoin, he has also shared predictions for other crypto ETFs. According to him, the final deadline for Litecoin ETF approval is December 2nd, 2025, with a 90% chance of approval. The Solana ETF has a final deadline of December 10th, 2025, with a 70% chance of approval. The XRP ETF's deadline is December 17th, 2025, with a 65% chance of approval. The Dogecoin ETF faces a deadline of December 18th, 2025, with a 75% chance of approval. Meanwhile, the approval dates for HBAR, Polkadot, and Cardano ETFs remain unknown. In general, while the chances of approval for these ETFs look promising, we won't have final decisions until the end of 2025. So we have a bit of a wait ahead. Moving on from ETFs, we now turn to legal matters. A man from Alabama has pleaded guilty to fraud involving the SEC's X account. As you may recall, when the first spot Bitcoin ETFs were set to launch, false information was leaked a day before the actual announcement. He falsely claimed that the ETFs had already been approved, when in reality they were not released until the following day, so there were some leaks at that time. A man from Alabama admitted his guilt for helping to hack the SEC's X account on Twitter in January 2024 in an attempt to mislead the market regarding spot Bitcoin ETFs. We refer to Mr. Eric Council, a 25-year-old resident of Athens, Alabama, who is now in prison for more than 15 years. Moving on from our legal cases, we will also look at Strategy, which continues to buy Bitcoin and spent $742 million to purchase 7,633 Bitcoin at an average price of $97,255. In total, it now holds 478,740 Bitcoin. From Strategy, we move on to currencies, starting today with Ripple, which has formed a major collaboration allowing cross-border exchanges. Specifically, Ripple is collaborating with Unicambio, a Portuguese currency exchange. Their partnership facilitates cross-border payments between Portugal and Brazil using Ripple Payment and the Ripple Network, according to statements made on February 10th. This is a significant collaboration for Ripple, and similar partnerships may encourage other countries to adopt Ripple and its services. From Ripple, we turn back to Cardano, for which we received more positive news. Swissquote has begun accepting Cardano and now allows it to be traded on its platform. This company is essentially a Swiss bank with more than 500,000 customers. In an email announcement, Swissquote stated that users can now trade Cardano through its services and utilize it within the bank, primarily for trading. As you can see from its website, traditional financial institutions are starting to pay attention to Cardano. As a result of this news, its value has increased by 8.1% in the 24-hour chart. Now it's time for us to turn to our favorite crypto market. Bitcoin is currently standing at $97,000, attempting to recover from its previous highs. Beyond Bitcoin's value, we have an interesting event, something very rare in the crypto market. A solo Bitcoin miner hit the jackpot, winning nearly $310,000. Specifically, we refer to block number 883,181, which was mined by an individual miner who earned 3.158 Bitcoin, worth approximately $307,000 at the time. This is, once again, an extremely difficult feat, and it will only become harder as time goes on. That wraps up the top news for crypto today. Is February 11th, 2025. I'd like to remind you that the content you just watched is created for educational purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice, but rather as investment opinion. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and feel free to comment. Take care, everyone, and have a good day.